17th of September 2025, Eyup Fretheads. Welcome to Wednesday's Lessons from the Book guitar class. Beaming to you from a bit of a wet and a windy Yorkshire, in God's own country. That's where we are, God's own county, the land of Yorkshire tea, Yorkshire puddings and flat caps. That's where we are today. If it's your first time, I'm Ricky. I'm your host and fellow frethead. I've been teaching guitar for a long time now, over 36 years. I know that's hard, considering I only look 40. I would say that. Probably 39 at a push. Nobody believes that, Ricky. Nobody. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Tonight's lesson, a guitar lesson, is going to be 20 survival licks that'll see you through the jam session. That's what it's all about. So you can use these for backing tracks, and you can also, if you find some backing tracks on YouTube or something, then you can do that. Now, this is kind of linked to the book. If you have already owned the book, this is an expansion of, and it says up here actually, lesson, hang on, put it over there, 73, can I follow it? 73, page 79. If you don't have the book, then what you can do is you can order the book. Now, I'm broadcasting simultaneously on Facebook tonight because I've managed to figure it out, but I'm on the page. I can't do it in the group, but I can do it on the page, so I thought, come on, let's do it on the page. So I'm broadcasting there as well, so I'm anticipating that we might get some comments in from Facebook as well, so I'm going to have to check everything's all right there. Guys, how many of you are here? 91 here, there's 21 likes. Get it walloped. Get that like walloped. Let's do that business there. So, like I say, these are all lessons from the book. If you don't know what the book is, the book here it's got 80 lessons in it. You can check it out just here. You can scan that QR code if you're on your telly. If you're watching on your telly, I know some of you do. So you can get it there. It's in paperback. There's the paperback. You get that on Amazon. Get the spiral bound, which is what I've got my copy as, off Lulu, or you can get it as an ebook as well. So you can get it as an ebook, and the reason it's cool as an ebook is because you can also get access to all the videos. Now, what happens is at the bottom of each page on the book, there's a link to the lesson. You type that into your browser, and it takes you to the lesson. Well, it takes you to a page. Because then I can swap things out and add more videos in there that are useful. So, but some people don't like that. They just want it all in one spot. So that's what I did, is I put them all in one spot, and I put them into the fretboard fraternity community. Let me just switch things over here. I've got it's I tell you, it's like NASA here. It really is. It's like I feel like I'm launching spaceships and all sorts of different stuff here. So right, so what we've got is we've got the fretboard fraternity, guys. Now, this is a place where you can come and chat about guitars, post pictures of guitars. That's what it's about, really. Pictures of cats as well. I like pictures of cats and dogs. I do like dogs. I prefer. Do I like dogs more than cats? I do like dogs more than cats because, they're just they're idiots of dogs, aren't they, really? So and I like that. So the fretboard fraternity is a free guitar community, guys, where the lessons of the book are hosted. We have a jolly good old time in there. No nasty social media nonsense, just guitar and dogs, and maybe pictures of cake, like cake as well. And we've had homebrew. We've had homebrew in there in the fretboard fraternity, haven't we, lads and lasses? Everybody who's in there, let's do that. So, and what I always do is, as well, for all the sessions, is all the lessons that we do here on YouTube and now tonight on Facebook, they are exclusive to PDF Club. So if you're interested in PDF Club, then you can have a look there. There's links in the description. Video description on YouTube might not be, but Mrs. Ricky, are you there? Mrs. Ricky is upstairs in the crow's nest. She's up. We called it the crow's nest. We did, didn't we? I didn't come up with that one, so I'm just calling it what it is. Mrs. Ricky's upstairs in the crow's nest. She is going to put some links in here if you would like to see more about all this stuff. you know, the book, Fretboard Fraternity, and PDF Club. And I think we might even have a discount code for PDF Club because you're here tonight. You're here tonight. You've taken the time out of your day to come and watch the class. So that's all good. So that's the first part of this session. What we always do here is we like to say hello to everybody in the community. We all know each other here on YouTube. We love it to bits. So if you want to extend that idea of, you know, talking to people in the community here, then you can do that over in the Fretboard Fraternity. Let me just put that link up there, up there again for you. There you go. Fretboardfraternity.com. Just sign up. Like I say, it's free. Join the community. We'd love to have you in there. You know, as long as you're cool. That's yeah. Well, as long as you're cool. We don't want any shenanigans in there. We don't have it. So that's what we're going to do today, guys. We're going to do that, and then any handouts for today are going to go up it there. And there is a sheet for today's lesson, and I think did we send this earlier? So everybody who's in PDF Club gets hold of these a little bit earlier so that they can print them off and follow along. Now, don't worry today, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some tab on screen as well because I've figured out the science and everything behind that. So that's what we're going to do there. Now, what we always do every week is we do a roll call because we want to shout out people in the community. I love the community to bits, and that's what we are going to do. So I've got to scroll through this. Now, what I do normally is I have a timer on, don't I? Look, I'll put my timer on. This is how long we want the roll call to last. I give myself 15 minutes. Yeah, you could, if you think to yourself, oh, he's going to waffle now. This is the waffle timer, the waffleometer. Yeah, so we got this here. If you don't want to stick around for the roll call, then go and make a cup of tea or something like that. Then that's fine. I understand. Yeah, you come back, and I might still be talking. We don't know. Well, it's been known that you know, I last week, Mrs. Ricky, you weren't here to witness the majestic glory of me actually finishing before the timer ended. Liar. No, she said she just called me a liar. Tell her in the chat, people. Tell her in the chat. Yeah, tell her in the chat. I did. I ended my waffle round. I think it was about 13 minutes. I had a couple of minutes to spare. So there we go. So if it's your first time here as well, let me know and give you a shout out. Make sure to wallop the like. Okay, wallop the like if it's your first time as well. But if it's your first time, let us know, and then we'll get you in here and get you introduced to the community. That's what it's all about, guys. So let me go through the roll call. Start the roll call. We have G-Man in here, his peace sign. Then we got, it's going to do that. There's G-Man in the chat there. We've got Karen Lee Benjamin. Hey there, Ricky. This Matthew Lee in Alabama using my sister's tablet. Can't wait to start. Always fun. That's good to hear. Thank you. Tim C. Eyup, everyone from USA. Chimp number 1 is in the chat. Can't wait to get started. And he's in sunny Scotland. Sunny Scotland. Is he sunny in Scotland? I'm jealous. Vicky DeMeo is in Lexington. Good to see you there. Now, John's in the chat. Hang on. Eyup, all lad and fellow frat members. Now then, lad. Now then, lad. You get a now then, lad, then, John. Christopher Campagna. Eyup, hand pink waving. That's what it says there. I got to put it up. So that's what happens there. Ken Guthrow, Eyup from Newmarket, Ontario. Oh, it's sunny, 27 degrees C. Like I say, it's wet and windy here. It's horrible. Irene S. is in Petaluma as well, in California. Wingo, hey all. Mario Van Leuven is in Antwerp. Jerry Linde is in Sweden. We have Off-Grid Greenhouse, ahoy, from Northwest Washington, USA. Sunshine in the autumn. It sounds nice, though. It does sound really nice. This little ticker thing up here, it's doing my head in. Literally, I just need to move it up just a little bit. That's a bit better, isn't it? There's just a gap. It's just annoying me. You know, it's like when tiles don't line up. Ugh. Yeah, Winston Moy is in from North Dallas. Stefan Weber is in from Germany. David Boy, hey all. Relaxing meditation. Good evening, Ricky. Hope all are doing well. Looking forward to tonight's lesson. Keep up your inspirational work. Thank you very much. Relaxing meditation. Good to have you here as usual. There's all the community here. Stuart Smith says hi all as well. Lem Biggs, hey up everyone. Lem Biggs is in. Look at Len Biggs' beard there. Don't he look like he should be in ZZ Top? He does, doesn't he? Jack Martin, half pint here from Asheville, North Carolina. Ready to learn again. Let's go. Mark Carter, hello and Eyup from Mountain Brook, Alabama, USA. Thunder Ace, my OG. Yeah, you know, props to my OG Thunder Ace here. He's been on commenting all my videos for ages. Must be quite some time. You tell me. It's probably about 10 years, maybe. So we've got Lem says ready for elephant and waffle in Texas. Bionic Bill is in the chat. Hey Paul, sorry, but mandatory meeting need to be attended, not by choice. I will hopefully be late. Believe me, I'm doing my star checks. Yes, now this is the thing. There's the unwritten rule. If you're new and it's your first time, if you are late to the next session, yes, then what you have to do is you have to do 10 star jumps in the corner as penance. That's what we want. Al Moens, Eyup Fretheads. How do Mrs. Ricky? How do there, Mrs. Ricky? MZ is got I'm trying to think what that emoji is. It must be an emoji. Kevin McAvoy, Eyup Fretheads. We've got Martha Minton in Missouri. Looks like another great lesson coming up. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, Martha. I hope so. We have got some. Oh, that's me doing a message there from the page. Dark Jen is in Oregon. We've got Bill Travis. Happy time of the week. Wayne Johnson. Greetings from Cowtown. Every time. Ford. I don't know why. I just like I imagine this town populated with cows, and it's like they're just going around the business buying bread and. Like, but have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that video with that guy who's like trying to make food and he's got a cow in his kitchen and it's like the cow's just destroying everything? I think that's what it is. I just imagine that mayhem in a town. It would be fun to see. Ford MJ in Ridgecrest, California. Telefunken 12AX7 Eyup. Larry McCormick. Hi all. Sasha Eyup from Hamburg. We like it on. I like that. Look. Appropriate. We have an appropriate profile picture there. We like that. We like pictures of chords there. Renee Hartman. Hi all. Rather crowded already. That's good. That's good to know. Andrew Nicholson. Eyup Fretheads. Let the magic commence. Lol. It's magic. Robin Tate. Hi everyone. Back again. Arabound 3048. Eyup all. Wishing you a great lesson. Ryan YT. We've got the smiley face and a wave there. We've got that. Rattlesnake Roy. We haven't seen you for a while. Mrs. Ricky and Miss Ricky went to see Calamity Jane the other week, and you enjoyed it, didn't you? Yeah. Rattlesnake Roy is a character within that their musical, is he not? Is he just called Rattlesnake? All right, okay. Well, we'll go with it. We'll go with it. Yes, we'll go with it. But nice picture of a cat as well. We like that. Andrew Nicholson says, yeah, Yorkshire at the Reddit. Oh, we've got another Yorkshire one. Oh, you know what?
That's champion, old lad.
That's champion, definitely. Gumby scores in the West Coast Van Isle. We've got Alex D. Eyup. It's Wednesday again. Woohoo. John Carver is in Durham. We've got Ken Guthrow. Nice tone. Oh, I hope it was nice tone. It's really hard to hear until I hear it play back through the video. It's the Yamaha THR. You know, it's a wonderful thing. It just plugs straight into the computer. So that's what we're doing. Rocket says, watching football tonight. Just wanted to say hello and leave a thumbs up. See you next week. I understand. It's Champions League and it's back into it. So there we go. Andrew says, Yorkshire tea at the Ready, lol. That's a thing. Yorkshire tea. We like a good cup of Yorkshire tea. Anik is in the chat. Hello, Ricky. Done with your previous class. Missed out on the live. Oh, well, you've caught up on your homework. That's the main thing. Roy Dunn, hello everyone from Flintstone, Georgia. Ryan YT, flat caps like Peaky Blinders. I think we had them in Yorkshire first. I think that's where they were invented. Like in Peaky Blinders, yes. It used to be a thing. Yorkshiremen just wore flat caps and that was it. And a whippet. A whippet is a very small, skinny greyhound. And Mrs. Ricky is very fond of those, and she wants us to get one, but I don't think we're getting one, are we? No. There you go. Scott Simmons. Scott is in the house. Colorado is beautiful today. I bet it is. It sounds beautiful. Just being called Colorado. Terry Lauder, Eyup with my new Circle of Thirds mug. Yes. Circle of Thirds mug. Think I need another. Which one should I get? Morning from the States. It depends what you're trying to learn. Remember, it's not just a mug, it's a lesson as well. It is a lesson as well. So we have to think about that. The pentatonic one, I think, is a good one. Small water feature. All right, all got ready to get some licks in. Patrick Darby. Oh, you're on your jollies, aren't you, Patrick? Oops, was typing away, then the music came on and it all disappeared. Popped in to say hello as I'm going out shortly. Back home on Saturday, just in time for the semi-final, France versus England. We understand. Thank you for popping your head in to say hello there, Patrick. I appreciate it. Scott Simmons says, order the book, best one I have. Great lessons from Ricky with videos. Thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words there. Gumby Scores is 11 a.m. in Canada. Greg Barrows, evening all, Ricky and team. We got a big thumb up there. Big Steve, greetings from Olympia, Washington. We have Randy Smith, just mashed it. Yes, get that like bashed. We've got 135 in here and 69 likes, guys. There is a bit of a delay on that, so I'll let you off. John Steers in Texas. We have Graham Wood in East Yorkshire. We've got another Yorkshireman in there. It's like, oh, hang on.
By gum.
Yep, there we go. We have Lawrence O in London. Family Wednesday again, so can't lock into the full attention I need for Ricky's wisdom. No worries. It's all going to be available in the replay, so don't worry about that. When we repurpose the videos and we cut them down and cut all the waffle out, just the core of the lesson. There we go. So we've got the analog kid. Hey up and howdy ho, fellow fretheads. Anik says, I'll show my pet dog tomorrow. Please. We like pictures of dogs. Dogs. We like dogs. Michael DeLima, great to see another live. Hi, Ricky in chat. We have Colin Mead as well, from Ireland on a lovely evening. Looking forward to some brain toasting again this week. Good stuff. Mrs. Ricky's put a link in there as well for PDF Club. Oh, hang on, hold the press. You know what's coming, don't you? And actually, just been mentioned, it's a nice cup of Yorkshire tea from Miss Ricky. This is in the Circle of Thirds mug. Yes, hang on, let me just cover my face. It will focus if I cover my face. Does it do it? There you go. Right, there you go. If it sees my eyes, it won't focus. There's a Circle of Thirds mug. There's a barcode. There's a QR code on the side. You scan it. It takes you to the video lesson. Yeah, so you can figure it out. And you can look at it, and it's got like blank bits where you can get a whiteboard marker and you can draw the notes in. It's a lesson in a mug. It's genius. But not only can you learn from it, you can drink Yorkshire tea from it. So I'm going to give you a Yorkshire salute. Hey up. Oh, that's lovely and hot. That's like molten lava. Yes, usual sketch there. We've got that. That's lovely. All right, so I've got my cup of Yorkshire tea. All's good in the world now. So we've got the Yorkshire tea there. We have that going, which is lovely. Oh, and Mrs. Ricky also put in PDF Club discount code. If you put in PDF Club 2025 in the checkout, then you'll get 20 quid off on that one. Stevie Boy, hey up folks, my first live for months. As I've had another commitment on Wednesdays, I see a lot of familiar faces are still here. This is the community, Stevie Boy. This is what we do. We also have, I'm going to say it wrong, aren't I? Is it Hadar? Hadar McQueen? I don't know. Hadar McQueen? I don't know if I said it right this time. But hey up, Ricky. Hello, everyone. Great to be here. Good to have you here, anyhow. You know, that's what it's all about. As long as you're here, it doesn't matter. Yeah, Dan Lafferty is here as well. David Dote is on holiday in Iran with Wi-Fi. I'm in, thankfully. That's what we want to... we love that. We love that. The fact that you're here and you're with us. Right, we have Elizabeth Azud. Howdy, gang. We've got Chuck Birdsong. Hey, Fretheads. Good day, all. Binary Surf. Hey up. We also have me as me up. Me. Hey up. Peter in Vancouver, BC. Roger Smith. Hello, everyone. Is Ricky's volume a bit low? I think my volume is probably all right, to be fair. Tony Mason, hi Ricky. We also have Sranang, Eyup Brada for Waka. There we go. I had to check that. I remember to make sure that you were making me swear. I didn't want to be swearing. Will I also make it this week? We've got 2 minutes 14 up there. 2 minutes, right? Okay. Let's have a look. Randy Holder is in the chat as well. Good to see you, Randy. Here from the tyre store, waiting for on my rubber donuts. Love it. There we go. We've got your hint here. That's the main thing. We have also got Robert Kennedy. What's my fave Megadeth album? Countdown to Extinction. It's the original with Marty Friedman. Top choice. The guitar solos in that are just compositions within compositions. They're absolutely tremendous. And plus, I like Marty Friedman with Becker in Jason Becker in Cacophony. I had that on vinyl. I had that on vinyl. It was nonsense, but widdly stuff. But there you go. Shred, we like it. Phantom, a quick low before the meds kick in and knock me out. Yeah, well, maybe the roll call's doing that. I don't know, but there you go. So we've got who else have we got in here? Who else have we got? We have Terry Lauder says, "Oh, this is about the roll call. I still have chills, Mrs. Ricky, and the moist eyes. It was epic. He did it. Yeah, there you go. So there you go. Proof." Donald Price, hello, in Vancouver, Washington. We've got Frank Gledden in Maryland. We've got Michael Gregg in Missouri. We have Kevin Hall, Surfing Cranula. Hi all. We also have, let's have a look. I'm scrolling down here. I'm determined. We've got a little bit of time left. Michael Davis in Neath. Music Man, Billy Bragg in Myrtle Beach today. Wonderful. We've got Lily, got my brew this week. Walter Dog coming at you from Long Beach, California. Richard, I like the waffle. Gives me time to eat my tea. There you go. Tea is what we call dinner in Yorkshire. We've got Ma, greetings in Ventura, CA. Joseph Lane, I'm stuck in the first position of the minor pentatonic scale. That's what this is all about today. That's a Facebook post. Great stuff. We have Dick Plump as well. And we have... Who have we got? Joseph Lane is from Mississippi, and I think that's your first time, so I'm going to give you a cheer. There you go. I hope so. And we're nearly at the bottom. I missed the timer. I'm sorry, but I'm nearly there. ATX Viking. Countdown still counting down. Not late. Not late. Since the poll was not available, no one can argue last week did not count. Oh, that's harsh. Three Dogs Brewery, Eyup, present and ready for Tangents and Nuggets. Good to have you here, Neil. Shauna TV, The Waffle. Anton, hi all. Graham Penfold, hi Ricky and everyone. John Essam, goody yum yum. It's Wednesday night with Ricky time. It's good. It's going to be a good one. The Champions League is back, so dual screen time again. How did you fix the Blues to be played? Oh, we won't talk about them just yet. We'll just see. I'm interested in welcoming KDB back to the Etihad. That would be good. Joe Harvey, the Corsical Kid, is ready for the lesson. Pavel Herben is in Slovakia. We have Sandy B. Hang on. Hey, Ricky, I'm bummed. I just got an email that X and Los Lobos tour was cancelled. Was supposed to see them on Saturday. Oh, it's always a downer when something like that happens. Mary is here from Colorado. We've got Cat Bubba. Who else have we got? We've got Eric Snowy. Bought the book 2 weeks ago. Should have done earlier. Thank you for that. Thank you for supporting my work here on the channel. We are just about there, guys. Michael Burke is here. We have my tea minion is indeed back. Susanna Gerling is in Brazil. We also have William Henning in from Florida. Colin Mead. Okay, got to get a Circle of Thirds mug. Is there a link, please, Mrs. Ricky? She'll put one up in a sec. She will put one up in a sec. Mr. Curly Leads. We like that. Ottawa. Apparently Curly Leads are meant to make your tone better. I'd heard this. Simon Wade. Hi, Ricky. Joining you for a brew. VXX8. Myrtle Beach rep. I feel like doing hand signs there. Shouldn't do. William Shepherd, Eyup. We are nearly at the bottom here. Robert Tucker says, if octaves above the root equals... Oh, what does about 8-string guitars? Does the count go negative? Well, that, if you didn't see my fretboard carousel last week, then that explains it in there, actually. We explain that in that. But... Do you know what? I'll be honest, yeah. I've toyed with the idea of getting a 7-string, and it sounds all lovely and everything, but I still haven't conquered this thing, yeah. And this is the thing: the journey never ends. So I look at them and I think, do you know what? Should I just get another 6-string? And then that happens. You see, that's what happens. I can't justify a 7, sorry, or even an 8-string. I just can't. It's impossible. So, that's where we're at, guys. That is the roll call done. And we are just about ready to rock. I'll keep scrolling and we'll see who's in the chat. Oh, we've got some more, just some last minute stragglers. We've got Tony Cagle here from Georgia. I'm assuming it's your first time. Brian Calvert says eggs fried and bacon crispy is genius. It is if you like eggs and you like bacon. And I do. I like both of them. Yes, and that's my favourite way of getting them. So, get a 12 string. Oh, I'm not a fan of... You don't want to get me on my rant about 12 strings. Can I just say, actually, before we do that, 12 strings. Yeah. Now, the thing about 12 strings is that one of the courses of strings is tuned in Nashville tuning. And one of the... oh, there you go. She's added a link to the chat there for the mug there, if you want the Cycle of Thirds mug. One of the things is it's just the regular 6-string acoustic tuned to, standard tuning, but then there's the course of strings that is tuned to Nashville tuning. And this is where you can get, and if you're recording, it's a cool little effect actually, because what you can do is you can get contrary motion. And this is the thing that you can't get with 12 strings is everything's in unison. All the notes are going to be in unison. But what you can do is you can get contrary motion. You can play different parts on the acoustic on one track, and then if you do another track with the Nashville tuning acoustic, then you still get the 12 string, but you can have contrary motion, which is really, really nice. Yes, it's a nice little trick. You twist the ear a little bit, and it's a cool little thing. So that's what I think. But 12 strings. Most of the ones I've ever had, I've always wanted to chuck them on a bonfire, to be honest. But there you go. They're really hard to get set up as well, because it's like a luthier is going to look at it and going to go, oh, it's double. It's like wedding flowers. Yeah, it's double. So there you go. Who said I bet the sitar. So there's Shauna. She says, I bet a sitar is a bigger pain in the butt. Yeah, it probably is. But there you go. Right, so if you are ready, make sure you wallop the like. If you're ready for this lesson, guys, wallop the like and say hi in the chat if you're ready to get some licks under your fingers. And you can use these in the jam session, guys. So let me talk about this. So here we go. We're going to get that. I'm going to get rid of this bit here because it's just a little bit distracting. Right, so what we're going to do today, guys, I've got these 20 survival licks. Now, I say 20 licks. You can make more than 20 licks out of this. You can definitely make more than 20 licks. And the thing about this is it's about tailoring it to your voice, how you want to sound on guitar. This is really the thing. And one of the things is that beginners, as beginners, we all do it. We all learn box 1, minor pentatonic. This bad boy here, let me just zoom in close up on this. Let me see. There we go. So we go. So we're going to go E5, E8, A5, A7, D5, D7, G5, G7. Then we get B5, and then we get B8, then we get B5, E5, and then E8 again. Now, if you want to learn that, then you probably want to go and have a look at some of my other videos on how to learn the pentatonics. This all ties in with it, guys. And if you've been on any of the lives for the last sort of month, we've really focused in on, powering up. We powered up the pentatonic, this box 1 last week, with some extra bits that we can add on nice and easy so we can see where everything is. And then and we tied in the notes, a bit of theory as well, which is good that you have to do. But the thing is, these 20 lick things that I'm going to show you today, it really is about getting them in your muscle memory. And just having them there so that the no-brainer things that you don't have to think about too much. You just go, I'm going to play this. It's a lick. It should be as easy as going to another country and say, and when you go to another country, guys, you know this. You always get better service if you know how to say hello, please, thank you, good morning, good night. Those kind of things. If you go to another country, you learn a bit of the lingo. Everybody just appreciates you just making a little bit of effort. And those little things can make your life sweeter. Now, that's the idea behind these 20 licks here. So that's what we're looking at. Now, when I say 20 licks, are they 20 licks? I'm calling them 20 licks. But they're really components, and they are mix and match. And what you can do is you can do all sorts of different things with these. Yeah. So, and they're really, really the cliche sort of licks that you're going to come across in lots and lots and lots and lots of songs, because this is the sort of thing that your favourite guitarists play. Everybody starts in this box, so why would they move out of it? It sounds great. It's lovely. Why would you? Why would you just, all right, I've completed box 1. I'm never going to play there again. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah, so this is the thing. So we utilise that box, but if I give you some licks and some frameworks, some modular ideas of how to do this, then I think that's just going to be a good way of making use of these scale patterns. Because the thing is, scale patterns, yeah, like if you play them, you go. Well, you're just there stuck, aren't you? They're stuck going. You don't know which one to bend or anything else like that. So this is what this is about. I suppose this could be you could see this as the next step after you've learned that box. Yeah. So you put these under your fingers and you're hunky dory with that. Right. So. And so the phrases that I'm going to give you as well, guys, there is no definitive way to play them. Yeah, so I'm saying to you, play them fast, play them slow, different rhythms, yeah, and different note groupings, back to front, upside down, any way you want to play them. This is completely up to you. And a thing that I should mention is as well, although today we are using good old A minor at the 5th position, yes, good old A minor, this old chestnut. What we're going to do is, what you can do with this is, you can relate this to another lesson in the book, and I should put that in there. It is related to another lesson in the book for transposing this idea to other keys. Because the thing is, if I can play this lick here, I can play it here. I can play it here. I can play it here. It will move, and it will move to all 12 keys. It's transposers. I would say, and if we're going to take this, if you look at these, what you're going to do is you're going to take these and you're going to focus on the 6 main keys. I think of these as the 6 main keys, and funnily enough, it's nothing to do with the cage system, but it just so happens that C, A, G, E, D are the keys that most rock and pop is composed in. If we add the F major in there, I think that covers it. It's good 6 keys. So I've got it here down as, this is it. In the book, it's a way to show you how to find the key. If you know what key you're in, it's lesson 62 in the book, which we talked about. I think we talked about this a bit last week as well. Number 62 in the book, how to solo in the correct key every time. So we've got that one in there, right? So, oh, hang on, I've lost my page now. I need to look at my little ticker now to see where I'm at, don't I? Right, cool. So like I say, the original lesson of this was only a 3-parter. It was 3-parter to create the survival lick lesson, okay? So, but remember, box 1, we're gonna play it on the relative minor. So Brian says there, F is least favorite usually. But the thing is, if you're going to play it in F, your relative minor would be D minor. So that would be the 10th fret, which is a nice easy position because the frets are narrower. Yeah, there you go. Oh, chimp number 1 just ordered the new mug. It is now an impressive collection. I love that. There's a whole collection happening. Right. Okay. So that's what we've got. We've got these licks that we're going to put together, and like I say, these are muscle memory phrases to get you started, and they're to fill in the space when you don't know what to practice. So, like I say, you don't need to think of the theory behind it. Just find a position, you play them, And it's about the physical manipulation of the strings and the guitar and the techniques. That should be your focus. The theory stuff can come later. So, like I say, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the box one of the minor pentatonic. Yes, and I call this the Chuck Berry zone, which you'll find out for a good reason in a minute. We're also going to go to the House of Blues, which is also known as the Albert King box. We can put that in there. And what we'll do is we'll maybe, it looks like we're probably going to jump into a bit of box 4 as well, because what we want to do is we want to make some interesting contrast in the voices that are available to us on the guitar neck. Okay, so oh, and I should just say, and I put this on here as a little caveat. I'll just take a sip of my tea, right? Oh, it's grand. Yorkshire tea. Get some. Oh, there we go. That's an advert for Yorkshire tea. I'm not in any way sponsored by Yorkshire tea. This is way easier on electric guitar, guys. Acoustic will be harder. It will be harder. But the one thing that I will say is if you can't bend a note, we're going to get into techniques, guys. If you can't bend a note, slide it to your target note. I'll come on that again. So any of these things that we're going to do today, what I want you to do is I want you to break them down into chunks. Look at this. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Right. So we've got some tab. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you in tab these licks, guys. So we're getting started now. But let me just say, if you find this difficult, remember, always chunk down. Break these licks and these ideas into smaller pieces. So for instance, this first one we've got here, right? There's a lot going on here, despite there only being 3 notes, yeah? So what I'm saying with this is we've got a bend. We're bending up here. There's something that's going on there with that word that says full. That means you're bending up a full tone. So I'm going to have to bend up a full tone, which is that's a half a tone or a semitone, and that's a tone there. Yeah, so a full step if you want to think about it that way. So going from the 7th fret to the 9th fret, that's your target note. So what I like to do is record that in my head. I'll come back to this idea again. Go back, bend up to the sound that I'm hearing in my head. So I'm thinking to myself, I've got that there, I've got a 5, and I've got a 5 here. So really, I've got a bend and I've got a roll. I've got a bend and a roll on here, okay? So I've got to put that together. So when I mean chunking is, you may just get that bit down there. Chunking is down to what you can handle, bite size, what you can handle in your mouth. Remember, I always say, guys, how do you eat an elephant? Yeah, you eat it. Yeah, you can't eat an elephant all at once. You can't, apart from it being morally wrong. You can't eat an elephant. You have to have it in tiniest morsels. You can't chew a whole ear. You can't eat a whole foot. Yeah, you've got to bite-size it down into a piece that you can handle. If you can't handle it, if it's feeling too difficult, you've got to break it down, even if it's just one thing. So if I just switch back to this one here, yeah, even if it's this is what I mean by chunking, about everything that we're going to do today, guys. Small chunks. Look, so I'm going to take that bend. I'm going to focus on that. Take your time with it. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to this, and then I might chunk this as the roll. And just practice that chunk on its own. Yeah, I might think to myself, well, how do I get my pick in there? Let me just move over here a little bit with the camera. Can't really see the pick. I could figure out how I'm going to pick it as well. So the thing is, that might be what I've got to deal with. So really, 2 chunks. Instead of looking at the whole of the thing, where is it? There. Ooh. Instead of looking at the whole of the thing and just getting too frustrated with it. We don't want that at all. Now, what we want to do is well, we want to just quickly talk about fingering when I talk about this box 1 position here, guys. Okay, so what we do is we can do something called positional playing. Yeah. Now everybody's hands are different. There is no cookie cutter way of doing this. Like I say, this is box 1 at the 5th fret here. So personally, what I like to do is I like to use all 4 fingers, but some people like to use 3 fingers, you know. That might be your bag, where you feel it's more comfortable to do it like this. Yeah. Now I like to do it like this, because what I know is I'm saving myself for this idea of 3 note per string. For 3 note per string stuff. Because there's 2 different kind of gears you have to find for playing 2 notes per string, which is what this pentatonic is. But then if I add something else in there, then it becomes a little bit of something else that you have to consider. So really what we want to do now, this is a great little warm-up, yeah, and I would recommend you do it, guys, you know, just to get your fingers going. Look at the angle of my fingers. You don't want your fingers like this, okay? Look at your fingers. If you're going to be doing any bending, which we are going to be doing, yeah, we don't want fingers like this, like that. You've just got no support, yeah, so there's no support there. That we're going to need to get this thumb in there, right? So we're going to go pinky, 3rd, 2nd, and then my index. So pinky, ring, middle, index. And I'm going down from 8, 7, 6, 5. And what you do is, it's not about speed here, guys. It's just about moving your fingers, just warming them up, getting them to do as they are told. So pinky, ring, middle, index. Move down a string. You just move down a string every time. If you want to, move back up. Now what you'll find is, you know, you'll get an idea of how that feels, and then what you could do is you could say to yourself, right, okay, well, I know that I have these fingers assigned for those frets. So look, there's my pentatonic. That's why I play the pinky there, not the ring finger. Yeah, but you can try it. Now some people use finger 2 and 1 there, but old Stumpy Sausage fingers here, he prefers to use finger 3, and there's a reason for that, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So fingers 3 and 1 there, so index and ring. That's a nice way to do it. And then look back to pinky and then index again there. So you can see that we are organizing these fingers. So I don't like that. That feels awkward to me. Yeah. So if I try it with finger 3, with my ring finger and my index, I just keep that the same. But I still got to do that pinky there because it's just a little bit out of my reach, okay? ATX Viking says, my pinky is trying to rebel right now, okay? I'd call it a pseudo chromatic scale. There's the chromatic scale normally, but you see this exercise, you move it down a fret and then go up, down a fret. As the frets get wider, it stretches you out a little bit. I think that's a good warm-up, and sometimes you can start here. Nothing complicated, but it's just about getting your fingers warmed up, get your fingers and the muscles in your fingers knowing that something's going to be happening and they're expected, and you've got to build up the stamina in that. Okay, now another thing I just wanted to talk about with this when I play this, because of I talk about the tendons in your hands, yeah, how they work and how they're linked. These two are linked here, which is why when you pull your index finger down, it affects the movement of the finger next to it. So look, when I pull the middle finger down, it affects fingers at either side. When I pull the ring finger down, it affects fingers at either side. And when I pull the pinky down, you can, well, it affects all of them apart from that one. So these two, the middle and my pinky, are what I consider as a walking pair, and the index and the third finger, yeah, those are the ones that I consider to be a walking pair as well. Those are independent of each other, and also the index and the pinky are a walking pair. They don't affect each other. So if I move my index finger, it doesn't affect my pinky. If I move my pinky, it doesn't really affect my index finger. It shouldn't do. But there you go. So the thing is, that's what I'm saying here with this. So we need to have those. Have that idea, which is why this is why I think a lot of people find it comfortable to use fingers 1 and 3 if they have big hands. If you've got fat fingers, then you're going to find that might be the way for you if you've got big hands. But if you've got stumpy sausages like me, then you might find that using your pinky is going to be a little bit more beneficial. So that's the thing, guys. Just try that. Warming that up there. The picking doesn't really matter. It could be all down strokes. Or practice it with your alternate picking. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. So that's what we're going to talk about there. Now, right, I'm going to get onto these exercises. But what I want to do is I want to preface these things, preface the licks with some of these techniques as well. When it comes to bending strings, this is what we're going to talk about. These will wreck your fingertips. You're either going to wreck your fingertips if you're not used to this technique. Then what you'll find is you'll get the end of your fingertips. They'll go like lace doilies. Do you remember those things? Old people. Some of you might still put them on. They make them lace with like loads of needles, and then you have you put a vase on top of them on a table. The doilies, and it just reminds me of that when they get all tattered and the skin's coming off. It's good because you're building up your calluses. Okay, so that's what we want to do on this. So bending is pretty much going to destroy your fingers. But let me just get give you sort of 7 tips really that are going to help you with your bending that you really need to think about. Okay, so let's look at this. So the 7 tips that you need to know with this is if you're going to bend a string, yeah, it's all about fulcrums, pivots, and reinforcing your fingers, right? So in that lick that I had before, in fact, let me just switch back to this one again so it gives it context. You can see that we've got this 7th fret here. That's the note there. Now, what I can do is I can leave my thumb off, and I want you to try it as well. Actually, just put the tip of your third finger on. That's the only finger I've got on there. No thumb on either. Thumb's not doing anything, but stick it up 12 o'clock and try and bend up and try and push up and see how weak it is. Okay. Right. Now, what we want to do is we want to reinforce the fingering. Okay. The way I kind of think about this is it's like my garage door. Yeah, I've got a manual garage door that you put the key in, you turn the handle, and then you lift it up with your fingers. So when I'm bending this string, the flesh of my fingertips is underneath the string. It's not flat on top, it's underneath the string. I can feel the fingertips smearing the wood of the fretboard as well. I can feel the wood underneath. This is why scalloped fretboards are really useful. Yeah. So what I do is I push up on there, but I'm also using reinforced fingering here, guys. So, it can be hard lifting the garage door up with one hand, but if you do it with 2 hands, it's easier, especially if it's windy, right? So, okay, so look. So I've got 2 fingers under there. You can, if you find it even trickier, use 3 fingers to push that up there. And if you imagine it, it's like it's like you've got two, that's you, and there's your two buddies helping you to carry a couch into your house, yeah, or something, a wardrobe, yeah? Lifting it up the stairs, and you can see realistically how far I can push that up now, but I'm always got this contact. Now what happens is, notice this finger here, this buddy here, he's got a job. He's a stopper. The tip of that finger touches the string above it, the thicker string, as if I'm bending up. And what it does is it keeps it muted. So if I push up there, so it's less really about that one doing stuff. It's more about these two bending up, because two of the two fingers are strong enough to bend the strings. 3 is enough. But you'll notice this. You'll notice it, and I noticed this with Slash from Guns N' Roses. He does that. He'll put a finger like that, and he's using it to mute out the upper string. Yeah, so you can do the same thing there. Now, there's no way I'm bending that without the thumb. Okay, we need the thumb as an opposing force, because what the thumb does is it creates a pivot, and what happens is that the wrist becomes the pivot point there. So the wrist goes like this. The thumb becomes, I think we're kind of thinking of the thumb as the fulcrum. So we've got this motion here. We're pushing it round. It's almost like, like you rev a motorcycle like that. It feels very much like that, but back to front. Yeah, these are 9s, John. These are 9-gauge strings. Yeah. If you find that these is if you find that 9s are too much, you can get 8s. Tony Iommi, who else? Yngwie Malmsteen himself. Yeah. So this is acting as a fulcrum there, and I'm bending that up there. Okay, so that's the garage door. Okay. Now, what we can do as well is, this is an exercise here, guys. What I want you to do is, for bending your notes, what you need to do is you need to be able to hear the target note that you're going to go from, okay? So what we've got is, we've got the notes that we can go to, which are notes above the note that you're fretting. So I'm at the 7th there. So really, I know that I'm going to be able to go to fret 8 or fret 9 for my target note. So what you do is you play your target note. So I'm going to play fret 9 here. Record that in my head. I'm going to record that note in my head. I'm singing it in my head. I'm going to move back to my original position, play the note. I'm still singing the note in my head. And I make that note that I bend up to match, but I make sure I've got the thumb in there. Watch the fingers again, guys. If you try push your fingers up where they're all like that straight, then you see the gaps in between? They're not helping each other. If you lay your fingers so that they touch and they help each other, they stack like that, then you're going to find it a lot easier. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do again. Play the target note, sing it in your head. Sing it if you want to. Bend up to it. Now, what we can do is we can play the half step as well. Yeah. But one that I like to do is see if you can get up to a minor third. If you like the big bends that you get from likes of Dimebag, then you need the minor third in there. But look how much you have to push up there, guys. Look how much I'm pushing up. You can see I'm gathering with my other fingers. I'm gathering the strings. I'm also using my thumb here, not only as a fulcrum there. I'm using it to mute out the thick E string as well. So look, I've got. So what we could do is, if we've got that note as well, what we could do is we can go. You can hear those notes there. If you play those notes there, so I'm going 10, 9, 8, 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend up to 10. and then I'm going to release the note slowly, going down a half step each time. Yeah, it's going to rag your fingers to bits. Pick each note. I'm not going to do it. Right, okay. So we go like that. Yeah, so this is how this when you start getting to a major third bend size, then that's when you start thinking, how much faith do I have in my strings? Yeah, how old are these? Okay, so now let me just put something up on there because it's important, and I think it's one of those things. John says, and a really interesting point actually, it's astonishing that Stevie Ray Vaughan played with 13s and could still get those crazy bends he was able to pull off. Absolutely must have had amazing strength in those hands. But he did play in E flat, which when you tune down a half step, it releases a lot of the tension in the strings. Yeah, so 13s probably felt more like 10s. Maybe. You know, and kind of the rule of thumb is, you know, with guitars is that you can think to yourself, if I put 9s on a Strat length neck, you know, there's two different scale length necks. I kind of think of it as Strat and Gibson. Gibson's slightly shorter, and because it's slightly shorter, if you put 9s on a Les Paul, they feel really flimsy. Yeah, so this is why it's better to put 10s on. And if you put 10s on, they're going to feel normal. But if you want something a bit thicker and you drop down to E flat, then that's going to give you like the same thing again. So if you tune down lower, then you have to put thicker strings on. Yeah, it just makes sense. So that's probably the easiest way around thinking about it. Because Stevie Ray Vaughan played with 13s, I think really. Then, you know, it's that tuning. It's a tuning thing as well. And I would also say, yes, Stevie Ray Vaughan did it, but, you know, he will have taken his time to get there. I imagine he wouldn't have started there with that. That's something that was a taste thing that he acquired as he, you know, went on his learning journey. And and trying out guitars as well. So what I'd say is, there's no need to make it hard on yourself. It's okay to use lighter gauge strings. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Especially, you know, if you want to do this kind of stuff, you want to do bends on acoustic. Like on my acoustics, I generally use 12s in standard tuning. Yeah, and what I would say is that you can, you know, drop them down to extra light 10s. If need be, if you're going to do bending and stuff, you lose a bit of quality of tone. Yeah, the thicker the strings you have, there's definitely a tone connection, yeah, that you do get stronger notes. I will say that. But that's a tangent. That's just a tangent there, guys. So, and Michael said, yes, 24-inch scale versus 25.5. You know, that's the thing. That's the thing, the difference between them. So, really, and this is why we need lots of different guitars. This is one of those things, you know, I've got some guitars here tuned in C standard, you know, with flat wounds on, because I wanted a specific sound. So that's the thing, you know, guys. Oh, crikey. And this is an interesting one. Robert says, I have a 19-inch scale length Strat built in 68, plays nicely with 12s. Lol, crazy stretches as well. See, so the thing is, the length of the neck is going to affect it. This might be one of those things that you want to look out for if you are having trouble, you know, bending notes. Then, you know, might be a route to go look down. You go to a guitar shop, say, have you got any short scale necks? You know, so I think that's a useful thing to think of. But there's no need to be a hero. There is absolutely no need to be a hero with this stuff. Right, so let me just go back to the bending thing. Right, so what we've got there, we've got this. Let me explain some terms here. Now, we're going to move on to the next lick. So this is the first lick. Now, all of these licks that I'm saying to you, and this is what I meant about you know, turning things upside down. This lick can become others. I can bend this as it's written on the screen there, so you can see 7-5-5. So I'm bending up a full step, which is this. There's my target note. And then I'm doing this roll double stop. When I hold two notes, that's called a double stop. I'll talk more on double stops in a minute. There. Now what I can do is I could play it that way, but what I'm saying to you as well is you can play it backwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the E string. So what I'm doing is I'm going 5, 5, 7. I'm bending on them. Yeah, so we can do that. What I did there was I bent, jumped over for the 5 on the thin E string, and then I played the 5 on the B string. So and that works as well. So what we've done is we've taken essentially this lick here. Well, hang on, where is it? This lick here, and we've played it 3 different ways. We're just interpreting it. So flip it. Do it slowly, do it quick. It's, like I say, it's up to you how you want to do this. Now, on the topic of bends, yes, in this pentatonic scale, right, what we want to do is what we never want to do is bend the root note up a half step. It will give us a flat second, or if you want to think of it as a flat 9, you can do. And this is the one, this is the cardinal sin that I hear a lot of people do. Now, when I want to use the index finger on its own to bend a string, this is where another fulcrum comes in. And this is this fulcrum here. The underside of the neck, what we do is we put the finger on there, and then the angle of the finger, we get the strength of the bend from this angle here. It kind of looks like a door handle. So we're rolling on this bit here. Right, so, but we don't want to bend this note here. Now, I'm not saying that we won't want it in another position, because we will. But if we do that there, yeah, you'll hear this all the time. It sounds wrong, yeah? That bending up a half step from the root note. And this is why when we play this pentatonic, we need to know where the root note is. It's a E shaped scale, because we're coming from the root note of it is there. That's an A, that's an A, and that's an A. So those are the notes that we've got to make sure that we don't go. Yeah, because that will sound awful. It makes you sound really, really, really bad. We don't do it. So we save the bending for other notes. Pretty much we can bend any other note, but we have to be careful how we do it. When we do bend a note, we can bend it up to any other scale note. Yeah, so if I take that note there, I can bend it up to that note. So I can bend it up to any note within the scale, and that's a safe bet. And that's where your note targeting comes from. But that first finger, say, I like doing this this quarter note bend here on this 8th fret. We'll come back to that in the licks again. So that's a thing that we want to just watch out for there, guys. Yeah. So reinforce your fingering. Get your thumb over the top to create the pivots, yes. Practice the... Bill T says, what? Or down, I'm not too sure what, I've missed the chat there. Oh, and I will say, okay, that's another thing. This string, we push it up, we bend it up. Because if we pull it down, we pull it off the fretboard. The B string, we push it up. We go up towards the ceiling with the bend. Now the G string's a funny one because it can do both. We can push it up Now, like I say, with those fingers there, pushing the garage door up. If you think about closing the garage door, you put your fingers over the door and you pull it down. Yeah, so we can equally pull it down because there is enough fretboard for you to get there. But they give you slightly different phrasing options, and it makes sense if you are moving to thinner strings, then you push up. But if you move into lower notes, then what you're going to do is pull down. Okay, so that's what you've got going on there. And another thing, and I put this in there. This is part of the thing. Vibrato. Vibrato is the thing that makes you sound really, really professional. Yeah, because if you think about singers, when they sing, they'll sing a phrase, la 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 la. The vibrato comes at the end of a phrase, and the vibrato is actually a bend. So we've got that there. Now, is it vibrato or is it tremolo? Yeah, because vibrato, well, we just call it vibrato. I think we just call it, I don't want to confuse the matter. Tremolo, basically, tremolo is more like that. Whereas vibrato, you go up above the pitch, to the pitch, below the pitch, and then back to the pitch. Yeah. Now, when we pull the string by bending it, it's only ever going up and returning to its original pitch. We can't go below it. You can do, this is why this is a tremolo bar, because you can go, above the pitch and below the pitch. That's probably pushed my guitar out of tune. Yeah, so you can go above and below. Okay, so really this is vibrato. Yeah, and but tremolo is something completely different. Yeah. It's in the bar. It's in the name of the bar. So vibrato is bending, and it's quick bending. So if you bend, and you can see I'm bending up a semitone there, half step, and just getting it, and then practice getting it faster. You need the thumb over there, yeah. Like that. And what you want to do is you want to try the whole scale, yeah, doing vibrato on it. You'll find it's trickier. I find it's always trickier on the thin E string because there's less to purchase. So when you do this one, what I'm doing is I'm using 4 fingers to reinforce there, but you might be want to do it like that. Now I do see there are some players that do it without the thumb, yeah, and there are some techniques where it just calls for that because it's the phrasing. But we've got that little pivot going. Thumb's always on top to help. But practice giving those a wobble. Notice that on that B string with the index finger, I'm pulling down there. There's enough room on the fretboard for it to happen. Sounds like we're under the sea now. So that is your vibrato, and that's the way to look at it. You've got to think about what speed do you want your vibrato to be. For it to be quick, for it to be a wide vibrato, and you can change it from being maybe a half step to being a whole tone. So you've got to practice all those. So that's vibrato, but vibrato is really a bending technique. It's a kind of a spin-off, if you will. It's Col Saul from Breaking Bad. Yeah, one's a spin-off. So we're looking at that there. So now I'm gonna go back to this lick again. Where is it? There it is. I'm gonna go back to this lick again, and let's have a look. See if I can do this. Here, I have my little thingy here. I'm only going to play those there. Let me just hide that there. I'm only going to play those 2 notes there. If I just play those 2 notes there, I get this. It's a beautiful little idea. It's 2 parts to it. Bend, notes. Now this is called a compound bend because there are 2 bends in it. What we've got, there are two parts to it. Bend, note. Now what's happening is this note is this E here, and we've got an E here, if I can say it. Okay. So we get this. It's really, we're just playing the same note, right? But they are separate to each other. This is why it's compound. Yeah, there's one part, then there's another part. So we do it like that. Now, what we could do, and we will come across this as we go through these licks, is if I do the reinforced fingering there on that G string at the 7th fret, yeah, I'm going to keep this first finger on that 5th fret of the B string and keep it static, okay? And I'm going to pick both the G string and the B string at the same time. When I do that and I play them together, what we get is a unison bend because we're playing them at the same time. This is compound. This is unison. Yeah, so you'll have heard this a lot. So we've barely scraped the first lick here, guys. Yeah, so there's loads that you can just do with this bit on its own. So okay. Hope you're all right, Phantom. Got that there. So there's unison. And what's good about the unison is it gives us that gnarly rub. We pass through, and you'll hear there's a beat and there's a pulse to the sounds of the strings as I move through them, as they tune into each other. This one's static. This note doesn't change. Can you hear that growl, that beat to the 2 notes? That's desirable. That's what we're after. And into that resolution of both notes becoming an E. Yeah, so Bill says, hang on, let me just switch over to the main camera. Let's have a look. Add to broadcast. Bill says, can you speak to the change in string size, effect, tone of the guitar and adjustments? If you're changing your string gauge, you will need to get the action set up. It will affect it. And if you do it on a Floyd Rose, say goodbye to hours and hours of time, frustration. Yeah, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna have there. So that's what I'd say. But it's something to be experimented. It's part of the journey, I'd say, Bill. You know, like if you want to do it, I'd get a Facebook Marketplace cheapo guitar. That you know, they're always good. You know, I used to say to my young students, the Star. No, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination a Star Wars fan, but the one of the things that always struck me was the Jedi. When they had a Padawan, they'd say, "Build your own lightsaber." And if you think about that, if you're a Padawan, you're the student, then if you build your own lightsaber, substitute that for a guitar, then you understand how it works. You know, you understand the tools of the trade, so to speak. So really, if you did buy, you know, a cheapo guitar for $50 off, you know, Facebook, that's an absolute dog of a guitar. You know, you can do some wonderful mods to it, and it's like, and if it all goes horribly wrong, you don't need to worry about it. But then what you can do is you can experiment with things. I mean, I remember having a guitar and I swapped out the E and the A string for the lowest 2 strings on a bass guitar because I just wanted to see what it sounded like, and I had to cut out bigger slots in the head nut here, and for them to all fit and everything, and it worked, and it was interesting, but it wasn't something that I ended up playing forever and saying, oh, this is my jam, man, this is it, this is me, I found the one. It wasn't. So but you've got to do it, and then once you've done it, you kind of think to yourself, yeah, I can talk about this from an enlightened position, and I think that's the thing, isn't it, really? And then there's that kind of thing. That's why it's on for Ralph says that's why it's on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, there are dogs of guitars out there. There's some nice ones out there. They're usually overpriced. But you can still get some bargains. But that's why I like Pacificas, because I do all sorts of things to the Pacificas. You can pick up a Pacifica. Well, you used to be able to pick up Pacificas fairly cheap, and then just go at them, swapping pickups out, and and all sorts of good stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. Right, let me get back to the old licks. Let's do this. So now, for the acoustic people in here, if bends are too hard, yeah, if that's going to be too hard, then you have to figure out some way to. That's not ideal. You can slide up to the notes. It's doable, kind of, but it's not ideal. But you can do it as a push. Now, one of the things that I wanted you to see with this, let me just move this. I've got this over here because I don't want you to jump the gun with these licks. Okay. All right, so this is the first one. We've got. Now, this is a double stop. What we can do is we can play that all in one go. And this is why I call it the Chuck Berry zone. So now, instead of with the roll, what I'm doing is I'm doing the bend. And that gives me this idea here. So this is lick 2. Let me just show you lick 2. Let's reveal lick 2 in all of its glory. So what we have is bend. Now you could do these as these double stops as singles if you want, or doubles. And like I say, I reversed it there, 2 double stops and the bend. Okay, so we've got that going on there. So that's a lick to get under there, and you can hold that if someone's going like this. All downstrokes. Yeah. But the key ingredient to this is this part here. This double stop that we have here. And what I would say that makes it interesting, yes, in this here, what I've got is I've got some doubles here. So I've got 755, 755, the double ones there. But what I find that makes it interesting is if you mix it up rhythmically, which gives us the third lick here. So we go 1 and 2. Yeah, so you mix it up. So you've got this rhythmic variation, so that stops it from sounding overly repetitive. Yeah. Yeah, so you can mix that up, and it just gives it a bit of rhythmic variance. Right, so now what we're going to do is will that move just slightly off there? Oh, it might do. Oh, that's cool. Now this brings me to this double stop itself. What we could do is we can approach a double stop from below, especially this one here because it's got the root note in it. So this is what we're going here. All downstrokes on this one, guys. So look. So I'm just sliding that first finger up there. So not much going on there at all. Not much going on at all there, guys. But look, we've already got a load of different ways of just being able to take a portion of that scale. 3 notes from it there, really. Really the only notes we're getting are the E and the A here. Okay, so I think that explains that that set there wonderfully. Let me just, I'm going to move my little shield over here a little bit because, like I said, I don't want you to get ahead of yourselves. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move up to the next lick. Right. What this one is, this is beautiful, is this one, because what happens is we get this smear bend in here. And this is another double stop. So we have a double stop here in the pentatonic. So if you're thinking pentatonic scale, it's the 2 lower notes as part of the 2 notes per string pattern. There, so it's that portion there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go 7. Strictly speaking, this note here on the 7th fret of the B string belongs to the major pentatonic. But what we're going to do is we're going to put that 3rd finger over it, just like we had 1 finger playing this note here, these 2 notes. This double stop. We're going to put the 3rd finger. I'm on the G and the B strings here. What I could do is I need my fulcrum again. I'm laying my 3rd finger super flat. See if I can show you that there. And I'm pulling it down towards the ground. Now it doesn't have to be overly strong, because what I'm doing is I'm just getting that half in between, sort of like half note, a semitone, half step, and a quarter note there. Now we have another step of the puzzle. So if we go use the lick, yes, and you can mix them up again, just like we did with the bends here, where we did the bend once, the double stop once, or the bend once and the double stop twice. Now you can do a return. You can bend that up and return it slowly. And in fact, that's what's notated there. We're pulling it down. And go straight to that double stop on the B and the E string. I pulled it a bit too far there. I was just curious to see how far I could pull. But that's always a good one as well, is that one. But what you're doing is you're getting that note from the minor pentatonic there and the note from the major pentatonic there. So it does sound a bit gnarly. Yeah, and you're getting this major 3rd interval there. And you're just bending it out of whack. Now, what happens with that, because what you can see is we're crossing these double stops over multiple strings. The whole box pattern can be tracked that way. So look, these are where you'll find suitable double stops. You can pull it into the pentatonic there, but it's not as gnarly as that. I like that one there. So I'm only holding 2 notes down when I'm playing this. Now the thing to know about this is that when we do this, these guys, these little double stops, we're creating like a mini power chord. Okay? This one here, look, this is an A, which would be your root note, and that would be your 5th there. So you can move through these, and you get and the thing I like about these is that you get a big texture. Yeah, texturally. Yeah, so So this one. And then if we end on this one, I'm using these two notes here, but I'm just using my third finger. Now, if you think about it, that's an A, that's an E, and that's the same as landing on this power chord. It's an abbreviation of it. You see where it crops into your power chord if you play it as a three-fingered power chord? So. So you can mix these up now. So we haven't got much material at all, really, that we're bending and double stopping here. And if you put, just for Lem, who's out there, I know Lem's watching this, if you put some... you get a bit of ZZ Top going. Yeah, so you get all those kind of ZZ Top isms, if you will. We get those bad boys there. So those are your double stops. Let's move on to the next bar. Now these are double stops, but like we did before when I showed you this bend here, because we've got this major pentatonic note in there, what happens is that distorts the whole of the minor pentatonic box one. So we don't get that, we get this. Yeah, so we get this. Now this, it gives you a lovely tritone here. Yeah. So this is going to give you some, it's a little bit rockabilly. I think it's there's a Meatloaf song. Oh, I can't remember which song it is. But anyhow, Paradise by the Dashboard Light? I'm not too sure. But look, this. You can even still do that bend to suggest that you're going to go back into that. Oh, but just play it as a double stop. Yeah, so you... There's lick one. And then we just end it with that third lick there. Yeah. So that's what we've that's what we got there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get to start into adding more bends here. And this is going to be our next... Oh, don't want to lose that. Right. This is going to be our next lick. This goes like the first lick. Then what we're going to do is going to put this finger on here. Now, this is where you decide whether you're a pinky or a third finger player, yeah? So I'm a pinky player. Get the thumb over the top. And what I do is I'm bending up to this A note here. Now, because I might play this... Yeah, I'll do it there in the three-finger version. Here's an A7. Lick one. And what I do is I'm taking fret 8 and I'm bending it up to fret 10. There's my target note, which is that A there. Actually, that feels a bit more comfortable today. Put some vibrato on it. Remember, vibrato is just a bend. So when I bend it up, I'm releasing and pushing it back up to the target note pitch. Yeah? Now that's a great little lick, but I just wanted to show you that would be really hard on acoustic. Yeah? Yep. So what we can do is slide on that. which is just as effective, and it's a bit more of a BB King thing, is that? Yes? Now, the reason I like this is because it moves us out of the box position and it moves us into the House of Blues that was on about, the Albert King box. Okay, so Winston says, when you bend down, is the target note located somewhere near the headstock? No. The target note is always up the neck, yeah? So if I'm thinking I'm there, what you can do is use this hand to get a preview. What it might sound like. Yeah, bending is always up. Yes. But the thing is that, like I say, with these, if easy enough on electric, that's going to take time. And remember what I said about chunking this, guys. You'll go. Put it together in 3 chunks there. So bend in the 7, put the double stop in, and then bend at 8 up to the 10 on the B string. Repick the note if you have to. Yeah, so that's what we've got going on there with that one. But if we want to, we can slide up, which is very, very useful, which is what I'm about to show you next. Let me just cover up that bit there. Don't want to give the game away too soon. All right, so now let me just scroll up on this one. And that's what's going on here, guys. So we've got this. We've got that original lick that we had. And then we're taking the 8th fret and sliding it up. So that's more amenable for acoustic, I would say. Classic sort of soulful BB King lick is that one. Yeah. And so I think that's probably the best way to explain that one there. Now, what we can do is we can add more bends. Now, what we've got going on here is this is we bend. We get that 5. We can see it's the first 2 notes of the first lick. We're going to put that bend in. Just getting used to moving between those. Now play that forwards and backwards as well. So bend at 7. And getting used to this idea of moving between that. Now really this lick is just repeated twice. It goes 7, full bend, 5, reinforce, thumb over the top, bend up to 8. Back down to 7. But if I play it backwards, 8, 5, 7. So you can hear we've got the double stops that we've done before. Oh, thank you, Chimp number 1. Thank you very much for that. Let me just put that in there. So Chimp number 1, thank you very much. There we go. Oh, it's gone. There we go. Thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Well, I hope it's been a good one anyhow so far. We've still got a lot to get through. Let's crack on. Yes, so let's just crack on here. All right, so you don't even have to bend this one here. I don't even have to bend that note. I can just do that. 7, 5, 8, 7, 5, 8. But the thing to know about this is that the 8th fret we're bending up a whole step, and at the 7th fret we're bending up a whole step as well. This note, we don't do anything with it. So we've got that going on there. So I think that's a pretty darn cool one myself. And then we've already done this one. I've talked about this one before. This is the compound bend. Now if you just sit there, going like that, you'll build up your stamina. Okay, you will build up your stamina, and you'll find that it's really useful for building up that stamina. And like I said to you before, we had this. This was the compound bends. These are fun as well. Let me just show you a tip on these. Actually, a little tip on these. If you use your index finger as your guide, yeah, you know that your pentatonic's going to go up to the 8th fret, and then you're going to go to the 10th fret for the where the House of Blues box is there. So we're just following the note on the B string. So if I do that and make sure that my index finger's always there, I can play this same thing going up the neck, a bit like elevator triangles, but this is, suppose you call it bend, unison bend ladder. So hopefully you can see where it goes. I'm just following, I'm using that as my guide to follow. Look ahead. Okay, so we've got that going on there, which is a kind of a cool thing that we can do there with that. And I really like that kind of unison bend idea, and you can do it as a compound bend as well, as if you're so inclined to do. So we have that one there. Right, we're scooting through these now. Oh, hang on, let me cover up here, and then what I'll do is we'll go through these, and then we'll see where we're at. So we're 139 into it. And I don't think I did too bad with the waffle. But now what we're going to do is we're going to get into, we're going to start getting into some of the fun ones. This is a fun one for me. I remember hearing this one. And I think it was a story, B.B. King. It's B.B. King's Let the Band Catch Up lick. And what it is we're going to purposely use the weakness of this pinky here to get a quarter note bend. Now what is a quarter note? That's the half step. Yeah, so in between that and that there's a note, and this is why the guitar is so wonderful, because we can do this by bending. So very vocal, human sounding is the guitar. Now it should sound like a cow mooing. It should sound off, but it should never get to that note. Yeah, so what we do is I bend up on that, my thumb's still there, but I bend up and I get that quarter note bend on the 8, and then I return down the double stop that we had at the 5th fret. And that was the lick that when B.B. King played that, he called it the waiting for the band to catch up, but I think he was just kind of thinking to himself, where's he going to go next? Okay, so yeah. Oh, that licked into. Yeah, so we've got all that going on there. So weak bend, double stop. Now, if B.B. King can use it, so can you. Hey, really, if you think about it. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this lick and we're going to make it bigger, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're focusing on the thin E string here. I'm going to bend up a full step, return back down, and then I'm just going to run down the scale. But as I run down the scale, I'm going to catch this flat third. Now you can see under the minor chord that lives underneath this. Here's the A minor chord. You can see we've got the fifth root, the flat third here. Now what I can do is I can do another bend there. I can do that as a quarter or a half step bend. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend up. I'm going to bend. And we get a nice little descending pattern here. But we start off on that bend. Yeah. Break it down into chunks. If that's the bit that you need to focus on first, just get that in there. Make sure you reinforce fingering, thumb over the top, pivots and fulcrums. So bend it up and bend it down. It might be just sat there doing that for 5 minutes. And then 8, 5, 7, 5. But that little bend suggests that you're going to go to major, but you're not. Now you can, like I say, there's the target note, a half step up. But that's a little bit too defined. You could go in between. I think the cow moo bend. There. So we're going to go. And you got a lovely little lick there that you can marry. A bit of extra in there. But we've got that going on there. Okay. I think that might be because I changed my pickup there, maybe. Maybe that's what it is. Right, so we've got that one there. That's what's going on with that lick. Now, the difference between that lick that I just played and this one is we're adding an extra note in, which is going to find you. It's going to find your level of where you're at with your fingers. Remember me talking about positional playing versus 3, 2, 1 fingers. What you can do is you can add this note in, and you can see on the G string it goes 8, 5, 7. But we've got 3 notes per string there, because what we're doing is we're adding this flat 5 in to this minor pentatonic to turn it into a minor blues. So here's the same one here. Yeah, so here's the same lick. Yeah. What's nice about this is that's a group of 5, which is nice. Yeah. And you can mix that up. Yeah. But the first lick where I didn't add the flat 5 in, it's subtle, yes. So there we go. We've got that in there. Now, joy of joys. We've got that's a descending idea. Now what we need is an ascending idea, just to keep you moving. Oh, don't lose that, Ricky. Ricky, don't lose that rectangle. Yeah, so what we've got there, what we're going to do is we've got 2 on this. So we're not bending any new strings here. We're just adding them into this part of the scale, coming from the D string here, 7 to the G, 5, G7. You could just play that bit on its own. Look, if I just cut that bit off there, look, I just keep it as this. Chunk it down. Yeah, so we can make it really talk around that area. I think it really does. But, you know, I just add one note. So you've got a load of moves in there. Yep, so these are just like, they're going to save you. They're going to save you. These survival licks. The thumbnail, today's thumbnail was outrageous. It was a bear chasing a man. And that's what it can feel like when you're in the the zone, in the moment with this. Yeah, it's like the music doesn't stop. Yeah, so you can't stop. You've got so many bars, and what you're going to do, it feels like the bear is time chasing you, yeah, as you're doing your jam. So we've got... Now, when I bend that up twice, it's to emphasize that root note that I'm going to here, this A. Yeah? There's A, there's A, there's A. Yeah? Yeah, I could even slide up to it if I wanted to, equally. Yeah. And you'll notice it's not much different to that lick. It's another way of rephrasing it. It's the technique that does the work. That one there. Okay, so we've got that one there. Now, okay, now we're definitely motoring it along here, guys. Let me pull my little kimono back there before I give you a peek behind it. Pull back the kimono. There we go. So we've got this lick here. Now, this one is when we're moving out of that Chuck Berry zone and we're moving into this House of Blues. Now, it's called the House of Blues because this bit looks like a triangle. 9, 8, 10. Right, and then what we've got is we've got a little rectangle here on 8, 10, 8, 10. But we don't want to just run up and down it. What we want to do is we want to use it, and this is just showing you how to do the bends. What I like to do is, you can see there's a little small note, this 8 crushed note. This is an acciaccatura crushed note, just sliding from 8 into 9 there. So I'm coming from that flat 5. Remember, we had it here. There. So we use it again to move into the House of Blues. There. Now what we're going to do is, from that BB King waiting for the band to catch up lick that we had there, that same bend, we're still going to bend that up a quarter note there. Yeah? So we can put that up there, but it's just to show you on the tab here, guys, that on 10 we would bend up a full step because we're going up to this E here. But when we play the 8, we're doing that moo bend on that 8th fret on the thin E string. Yeah? Double the root note to just fire it home if you want to be totally BB King about it. Just play the root note at the end, but an octave higher, and slide it down. Yeah, that's a BB Kingism. So, yeah, House of Blues is box 2 in the minor pentatonic. Yeah, it's half of the pattern. If you wanted to think about it, it would be the second box, which would be 8, 10, 7, 10, 7, 10, 7, 9, 8, 10, 8, 10. Okay? But we're only using that bit there. You can see there's a C major triad there just to show you where it is. And there's also a minor triad in there to show you where it is as well. Which is a good one as well. So that's all in that area as well. Okay. Now, what we do is we can move this along now. Move this along, guys. And what we're going to do is we're going to full bend at 10 here. Just bend that. That's nice and easy. Yeah, so bend up to 10, to 12. You can go the half bend on here. Yeah, because that would give us sound as an A major sound. Remember, there's the A minor, there's the A major. Just putting two of those licks there together. And that then gives us plenty of meat, some places to play around, just to evolve that box pattern into here. And this is really utilizing one of the power-ups that I was talking about in last week's lesson. But now what we're going to do is I want to show you how you can transfer that same lick, yeah? So this goes... Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move into box 4 of the pentatonic, which goes 12, 15, 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 14, 13, 15, and then 12, 15 again. Okay, so that's where that lives there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend up full at 15. I'm going to do that quarter bend on the 13. And then I'm going to go 14 twice. So if you listen to that, and I'll do it here in the House of Blues. It's the same lick. Yeah. Yeah, so got that there. So, Waterdog says, what's the basic rule on bending intervals then? Right, okay, well, it's a great question, actually. Let me just gonna go here. We've got one more lick left. I don't know if we should do one lick, but I'll just add this to the chat here. What's the basics on basic rule on bending the intervals? You're either going to go to a scale note, or you're going to imply a chord tone, or that you are moving from the from a minor to a major. I think best indicated, actually, because if I show you the chords, this is the way I think about it, actually, how it works. If I do it with the chords, and I'll show you here, I'm going to hold an E, yeah? If I turn that into an E7, yeah? And what I do is I just strum. I take the, in fact, actually, I'll just leave it as an E chord. Can you see if I play an E minor, and then I put the first finger on to make an E major, so minor to major, okay? Like that. You can see it creates this kind of a bluesiness to it. There's a little twist. Right? Now, what's going on is it's basically we're messing around with tonality. We're kind of doing the shift from minor to major. Look, here's the A chord. If I take an A minor, do the same thing. There's an A minor, there's an A. If I put that pinky on there, yeah. Play a D7. Look at this. It's all about manipulating the third. Yeah, so that's all I'm really doing there. Okay. So really, that's all I'm looking to do. there's a C chord. Going from a minor, so there's a minor, to a major, and then firing through onto the fifth. So that's what I'm really looking at doing here. Okay. So this is the minor third, and by suggesting on that bend, I can either bend up, yeah, to a chord tone, yeah, which is part of the scale, or I can imply that I'm doing that manipulation between the tonalities of minor and major, which is what this note is all about. There's lots of fun to be had with it. But look, let me get on to the last lick here, guys, because this is the one. This is because what we've done is we've got into the dusty end of the neck, and I will touch on the dusty end of the neck a bit more as well. So I wanted to show you that this lick can be replicated here. Now, when I'm in this position, there comes a super one to land on, and this is the classic, they call them boomer bends, okay? This is classic boomer bends, and what we could do, there's two ways to do it, and it's all encompassed in this one lick, yeah? And what we get is, we get this, we're going to bend 15, and we're talking about these compound bends again, bending 15 up a whole step, to the target note on the 17th. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with my pinky, I'm going to grab 15 on the thin E string. It almost gives you a slide effect. But we also get that grainy pulse between the notes as well. And what we can do is we can do those, guys, as we can do them as unisons, and we can do them as compounds. So here it is as a compound. And here it is as a unison. So I'm striking it like it's a double stop, but then what I'm doing is I'm bending those up there, and I can't do it without my thumb and my reinforced fingering, and that pinky is static. Now the cool thing is, we have all these licks down here. In the Chuckberry zone. Move up into the House of the Blues. Brian says it really well there, the train whistle. Yeah. Or the dog yelping. Nice if you just pick it up. And you can let it down slowly. Let's take a bit more gentle with it. Now, so that's what we've got going on there, guys, now. So those are the 20 licks. Those are the 20 licks, guys. But what we want to do is I just want to show you some other stuff. There's some extra tips to go with this, because what you can do is you can actually blow these up all up the neck, because this simple thing that you need to understand is that the first 12 frets are repeated when you move up into the dusty end of the neck, guys. You're playing 2 different octaves. And what we do is we use the dots to get there. Now, when I played this Chuck Berry zone down here, this is in A specifically, yeah, in A minor. You can see that my fingers are, there's my first dot, there's my second dot, there's my third dot. Now, if I do the same thing up here and I go first dot, second dot, third dot, and I play everything. I've got it all up here as well. Put that little little lick idea there. But the cool thing is, what I like to do with this is to start in one box. So say I've got a lick that goes and end it down here. And getting used to just moving and targeting from one box to the other. Okay, so that's all I'm doing. I can even use my House of Blues up here. But look, I'm up in the... I have to switch my fingers around. It gets really, really tight up here. Yeah, so that lick that I had here that was, that went... Play it an octave up. It's just there. A bit tight on there. My fingers are a bit sweaty. So all I'm doing is I'm transferring the Chuck Berry zone from here and pulling it up here. But like I say, and if you want an easy win, and this is extra, yeah, this is a little bit extra. It's not beginnery, yeah. Any of the notes that you can see in that corresponding same box up here, you can tap. So that's what we can. You can add them in here as well. So if you think about it, flat 5, 4, flat 3. If I want to tap a note here, I still pull down here, keep this finger static. Do the bend down here still. I don't bend up here, even though that's the note that's been fretted. So just to show you that these little things can get some more mileage out of these things, guys. Right. So that's the way we can do that. And like I say, if you struggle with any of this stuff, there's always a way around it. Acoustic, like the caveat was, it's always going to be harder on acoustic if it's well, damn, you said a little extra, not lava chicken. Not lukewarm Yorkshire tea either. So the idea that I wanted to just get across to you there is there's a lot of the same in this 20 licks ideas, and you've got to mix them up. Live with one of the ideas, yeah, for a week. Just live with one lick for a week and see how it goes, you know, and then try another one, and then try another one, yeah, okay, and then you know, then think, right, well, how do I join that one to that one? You know, this is where things like the elevator triangles, which is another lesson in the book, comes into play. And the thing is, yeah, so one lick, it could be reshaped into so many different variations. It's just like, it's crazy. But the thing that I want you to remember is, as well, is that it's not about copying or being or trying to sound like somebody else. Yes, you can add those influences and put them in there, and it's all good and it's hunky dory. But really, ultimately, I think the thing is, you're you, and you have to be you. You can't be anybody else. Yeah, you can't really be anybody else. So what you've got to do is you've got to be yourself. So play these licks like you, because I think the thing is, comparing yourself. There's a saying: comparison is the thief of joy. So you need to feel that you are enjoying your practice, because if it feels like torture, that you're not getting anywhere, then you're gonna practice less, and that means that you're on the decline. You want to be progressing, you want to be motivated, you want to be gaining momentum in your practice, and you want to be making progress. And that's the thing. And the biggest killer, I think, is comparing yourself to others. Yeah, and when we have so many great guitar players in the world, okay, when you have so many out there, to just like inspire us, we shouldn't be feeling like, oh no, I'm not going to pick my guitar. I can't pick my guitar up after seeing that guy doing that. It shouldn't be like that, because the thing is, this is all about you expressing yourself here in the world. Yeah, this is what the guitar's for. It's an outlet for you to be yourself. Yeah, and that's what I'm on about here, guys. Yeah, nobody, and the thing is, we think that we guitarists, we think that there's somebody out there that's completed guitar, and I can tell you there isn't. There's nobody completed guitar. It's not like a game where you put a disc in the PlayStation and it's like there's only so many things that can happen. Yeah, guitar is just, it's immense. It changes all the time. And it's like, you think to yourself, all right, I'm going to learn how to play blues. I'm going to learn how to play country. I'm going to learn how to play bluegrass. I'm going to learn how to play jazz. There's too much. It's just too much. Yeah. So nobody knows everything. And nobody's fully mastered it, really. It's all about being comfortable in who you are in your playing. And that's it. And once you're comfortable in that, then you enjoy the journey. Okay, you enjoy the journey, and when you enjoy the journey, you want to practice more, and that's the thing. Yeah, and the Analog Kid says, if you can't be yourself, fake it until you can. There is a thing that is about that, and talking about being yourself, I'd like to just like invite you, if you've not heard of the Fretboard Fraternity, just like you to invite you to the Fretboard Fraternity here. Where you can come and be yourself. None of the politics and none of the other social media shenanigans. No ads, no big tech tracking you or anything else like that. So it'd be great to have you in the Fretboard Fraternity there. Make sure you sign up for that. Because the videos for the book are in there. So this is, like I said, this lesson today was an expansion of lesson 73, page 79 from the book. If you don't have the book and you want to support my work on the channel and you want to get the book, then you go here. And what you can do is you can get paperback, you can get the spiral bound from Lulu. The Lulu one, yeah, it's got a picture of a paperback. It doesn't say spiral. I've had to put it in there. The picture's wrong. But it is the only place you can get the spiral bound is on Lulu. But if you get the ebook version, then what you'll find is all the videos will be in the Fretboard Fraternity, just waiting for you. You just go in there and they're all there in order, 1 to 80, nice and easy, with any extra ones in there that you might need. If you really want to dig into all my work on the channel, then you might want to join PDF Club. And there are, I think there's something like over 350 lessons now. It's probably getting up to 400 lessons in there. With all the PDFs, all the videos, loads of extras, loads of handouts and worksheets and lots of other stuff in there. It's a private community that's an annex. We'll call it, I was going to call it the granny flat, but it isn't. It's an annex to to the fretboard fraternity. So if you're in the fretboard fraternity, it's just as easy. You were in PDF Club, you just click on a button and you're immediately in there. You get an email every week for the PDF Club as well. Check it out if you want to support my work here on the channel. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mrs. Ricky put, I think it was this PDF Club 2025. That is the coupon code. If you wanna join PDF Club, if you do that, it'll take 20 quid off, which is a nice little discount. Okay, so that's me done peddling my wares, guys. Thank you very much for turning up today. I super appreciate you coming along, because if you didn't, I'd be just talking to myself on the internet, and that's not a good thing. If you come here on Facebook, make sure you follow the Facebook page as well, and watch out for loads of juicy reels and tidbits on there. So that's all that remains for me to say. I will see you next week at the same time, same place. So all that is left is for me to say, look after yourself and look after each other. Take care. Much love from the Miskies here in Yorkshire, and we'll see you next week. Okay, take care. Bye.